Right now, India through to the World Cup final. Indian Women ODI World Cup series was underway, and India has beaten Australia. Jemima stars in India's historic win. Nikhil Naz joins us for more on this. Nikhil, over to you.
All right, then, breaking news just coming in, and that is the performance of the Indian women's cricket team. They have won this particular semi-final versus Australia and have moved to their third World Cup final. And what a performance we witnessed there from the girls in blue. Remember, they were up against it because they were playing 7-time champions, arguably, in fact, unarguably, the greatest women's team ever, the Australian cricket team. And what a performance Harmanpreet Kaur and her team have notched up here. If I was to look at this entire encounter at a macro level, I'll say without any hesitation, this is the greatest ever run chase in women's cricket history, because it is a record run chase. Remember, the highest run chase before this was in this very tournament that happened between these two teams in a league game during this particular World Cup. 331 is what Australia chased versus India to register the highest ever run chase in women's ODI cricket. And guess what? Today it was payback time, and it is the team, the women's team, the Indian women's team that has done exactly that versus Australia. So stunning performance there from the girls there in blue. As we've been telling you all throughout, what we're going to be doing is also have a special guest join us on the program in a short while. We'll have Mr. Sunil Gavaskar join us for his live analysis. We'll also try and look at the highlights of this particular encounter and how is it that the girls managed to pull this heist. Amazing performance as we are looking at this particular game with the way the girls really performed on the big stage. Let's quickly run you through the scorecard as well, and how is it that the women's team really pulled off this miraculous chase. It is all down to that one girl who came out to bat at number 3 for India, Jemima Rodrigues, 127 not out, and she undoubtedly would be declared the player of the match in this particular encounter. It was often mentioned that if India had to win this game, they needed one of their top order batters between Harmanpreet Kaur, between Jemima Rodrigues and Smriti Mandhana to go ahead and score 100, and that's exactly what Jemima did. The most amazing thing about her knock is not just the century that she scored, but also the fact that she hung on till the end. Remember, India could very well have lost the game had they lost another wicket, because on paper it shows 5 wickets, but India were effectively playing this game with 7 batters. If there was one more wicket to fall, you would have had the tail enders, and from there on it would have been tough for the Indian team to go across the line. So keeping that in mind, Jemima Rodrigues, they're getting that 127 not out, ably supported initially by the captain in Harmanpreet Kaur, that notched up 89 very valuable runs at a very healthy strike rate of 101. And then at the end you had Deepti Sharma chip in with a valuable 24, Richa Ghosh with a valiant 26, and Amanjot Kaur giving company to Jemima right at the death with 15 not out. So it's a memorable performance by the Indian women's team, the way they have pulled off this particular chase versus, as I said, the most successful team in women's cricket history. Okay, just running you through the details of this particular encounter and how is it that the Indian team pulled off this incredible victory here. Also, let's not forget the fact that India had lost the toss in this encounter, and that, many said, could put more pressure on the Indian team, because we've seen them in this tournament. They were found wanting in certain chases. In fact, versus England, they had a much lower target to chase, 288, and they could not really chase that target down, and really froze at the end. And those demons clearly were there, or must have been there in their minds, when they walked into this game and lost the toss, and they were once again asked to chase. To make matters worse, Australia then notched up 339, Mount Everest-like score, which the Indian team then had to scale. Maybe they must have taken some sort of confidence from the fact that earlier in the league encounter, India had got 330 versus Australia, but that came in very different circumstances, where India had batted first, and the pressure probably wouldn't have been that much batting first. But in this encounter, in a World Cup semi-final, to chase 340, something that had not been done, let alone in a World Cup knockout game, had not been done in any Women's World Cup game, it was really a monumental task for the Indian team to be going for this particular chase. But it has been absolutely incredible with the way the team has done. And if you take a closer look at the way the Indian team has gone ahead and masterminded this chase, it doesn't look like by chance or by fluke. It was a very well-planned strategy. They knew they were playing a batter less, and probably had to then employ different strategy of being a bit circumspect at the toss, at the top, when they were chasing that total. And that's exactly what Harmanpreet was doing alongside Jemima. At one point, the required run rate had gone over 8, and you were wondering whether India will be able to chase that down. And they went ahead and did that quite famously. All right, we are bringing you all the latest details of that particular encounter. I believe our consulting editor Rajdeep Sardesai joins us on the phone line. Rajdeep, your first thoughts on this incredible win?
In a World Cup semi-final, that too against a champion side like Australia, which was unbeaten, is one of the great feats in Indian cricket. Forget about women, men, this is just a remarkable feat. And for Jemima Rodrigues, who was dropped earlier in the tournament, to go on to score this kind of an innings, facing it absolutely brilliantly, is truly one of the great chases in world cricket. And I think Indian women's cricket, Nikhil, has truly come of age, because it's been played in front of a packed house. It's been played on home conditions, withstanding the pressure to win against the Australians. I think is surely going to rank as one of the great moments in Indian cricket. We saw a remarkable moment in 2011 when Mahendra Singh Dhoni hit that six to win the World Cup final. Well, Jemima Rodrigues has had her share of glory in Navi Mumbai, and she's a Mumbai girl herself. So I think it is fantastic the way the Indian team has really come of age, taking on the Australians, who actually eventually were the ones who crumbled against under the pressure. Not so. Yes, they dropped a couple of catches, the Australians, but you need a bit of luck when you're chasing 338, and the Indians grabbed their chances. Full marks to Jemima, Harmanpreet, who scored that brilliant knock, and the entire team. It is phenomenal to chase 338 in a World Cup semi-final.
All right, Rajdeep there summing up the performance of the team and how well they have done in this particular encounter. It was a seesaw sort of a performance there from the Indian women's team. When they were bowling, there were a few hiccups there, especially when it comes to the fielding. There were a few drop catches when the Indian team was fielding. Then from there on, the Australian team led by, of course, Litchfield there at the start, and then, they had Perry as well chip in with some very valuable runs. And from there on, then, Australia reached 339, which proved to be a humongous total for any team to chase. That's another matter that India have done it quite handsomely. But there was couple of moments in this match which you'll now look back and tell and probably come to a conclusion that those could have been the moments that really turned the game around. One moment where the Indian bowlers chipped in with those valuable wickets. Rajdeep, to you, turning points that you saw in this game?
Well, one turning point was, of course, Ali Sealy, who's a fantastic wicketkeeper. To drop that kind of a sitter when the skier was hit by Jemima, I think that was a big turning point. 206 for 2 would have been 3 down and would have exposed possibly a slightly weaker Indian lower order a little earlier. I think that was one big turning point. The other turning point, as you rightly said, Australia expected with that kind of start to score 350 plus. They ended about 12 runs short, which again, I think made a huge difference. But overall, I think it's that partnership between Harmanpreet and Jemima. When you're chasing 338, you need that one big partnership. And I think that partnership gave India hope and self-belief and put the Australians under pressure. So I would say it's that partnership between Harmanpreet and Jemima that actually made all the difference in this match. It was there that you first sensed that India could actually chase this score down.
All right, Rajdeep, thank you so much for those updates there. We were looking at how is it that the Indian team pulled off this heist versus Australia. Really, something that all the pundits hadn't given them any sort of chance to do, but they have done that quite handsomely here in the semi-final of a World Cup. They will now move on to the final where they'll play a South African team, a very competitive South African team that had beaten India in the earlier rounds as well. Now, India, as I said, are through to the final of the Women's World Cup after beating defending champions Australia in the semi-final. We're now joined by Sunil Gavaskar. We are going to look back at this particular win. Saima, before I break this game down, tell us the gamut of emotions that you may have gone through for a period of, this 100 overs, because I can tell you, we were all watching together in the office, and I think I've, bitten my nails more than I can chew. So 10 scenes here. How is it that you saw this entire match?
Well, I would have also bit my nails up, but then, over the years, I cut my nails every Thursday. So I'd already clipped my nails in the morning. But yes, I mean, it was exhilarating. It was exhilarating. It was sometimes, a little bit frustrating at, when we, you look at some things happening and say, oh, why did you play that shot? That kind of stuff. But it was exhilarating, absolutely, and thrilling, absolutely thrilling. Wonderful, wonderful win. Full marks to Jemima as well as Harmanpreet for the way they built that partnership. It wasn't easy to build that partnership. But the way they built it, slow and steady to start with, and then accelerating and scoring at a very good clip, picking shots well, picking gaps well, playing where the fielders weren't. And of course, they had a bit of luck, which is what part of the game. But also because of the way they were batting with each other, they took the load off each other. Sometimes, one batter is not stroking the ball well. The other batter tries to take the risk. They didn't have to do that. So wonderful, absolutely wonderful effort.
Saima, you talk about that partnership between Jemima and Harmanpreet. Now, this is one thing that we've seen where the Indian women's team has faltered in previous occasions. They get very close to the target or get very close to the win and then go on to collapse from there. Do you think, seeing the way they batted today, seeing the resolve in, let's say, the way Jemima was batting, Harman was batting, the required run rate was increasing, this is something they probably would have spoken about, worked hard on, very conscious about it, the way they went about their business?
Yes, I think knowing one's strengths is also important. And I think they recognize that, hitting boundaries is their strength. Hitting boundaries, not really looking to hit the sixes, is what they want to do. Harmanpreet can hit the ball into the stands anywhere, even on the big Australian ground, she can do that. But she curved herself. She was playing calculated, attacking batting. So she was hitting the boundaries. Yes, the occasional six did come through, but she was hitting the boundaries. And that is what was so important. They played risk-free cricket. And that was what was needed. Risk-free cricket, but smart cricket. They were knocking the ball into the gaps, taking the ones and the twos, hitting the occasional boundary, keeping the run rate, the required run rate in eyesight all the time. So I think that was it. They played very smart cricket. Jemima, for example, look at that. She's a slip of a girl. She knows that she can occasionally hit the six, but she wasn't looking to hit the sixes. She was looking to hit the boundaries and it was terrific batting from both of them. And then, of course, Dipti coming and accelerating at just the right time when Jemima, after the 100, was getting just a little, you could see just maybe she was just a little bit tired. And it does take you a little time to get over that, euphoria of scoring 100. Your focus goes away. And that's why it's always good to be at the non-strikers. And that's where Dipti came in and played that nice innings. And then Richa hitting those big sixes. So altogether, a terrific batting effort from the Indian team.
So it is a world record chase. Looking at the fact that it's a world record chase, looking at the fact that it was against the mighty Australians that are invincible when it comes to women's cricket, looking at the occasion, it's a semi-final of a World Cup. All these things put together, the greatest run chase ever, period?
I would imagine so. I can't remember any chase like that in women's cricket. Wonderful, absolutely. And you won with 5 wickets, and you won with, I think, 8 balls to spare. So that tells you how brilliant that chase was.
So anyway, I was talking about it being a record run chase. The record was created in this very World Cup. Interestingly, between these two teams, 331 that Australia chased versus India in Vizag in this very tournament became the highest ever run chase in women's cricket. Guess what? Within a week or so, the Indian team is, done that, gone one better. So it is basically payback with interest as quickly as this. Have you seen that before?
Oh, well, we saw that yesterday, didn't we? Yesterday, because in the first match of this year's World Cup, South Africa were dismissed for 69 in, I think, 20-odd overs. And yesterday, their captain scored 169 herself. So that was the kind of payback that we saw today as well. So both teams that have got to the finals have defeated the teams that beat them in the earlier matches in the league stage. And so the final should be really a nail-biting one again.
Saibai couldn't have come to a better person listening to what she has to say. Dropped the last World Cup, wasn't even part of the squad, wasn't doing well mentally, did not even know that she's going to be batting at number 3, has been a middle order batter. It's all come good together for her.
Yes, absolutely fantastic. I think, when you're left out of the team and you come back into the team, the pressure is way, way too high. And she's dealt with that pressure by scoring a very good 70 the other day. And so that would have given her a lot of confidence. And today's innings was a marvelous innings. I saw Pratika Rawal's 100, and I thought that was one of the finest 100s that I'd seen in an earlier game. Sadly, she got injured. Otherwise, India would have had a very, very good opening pat. Nothing against Shefali. Shefali could go on and get a big 100 or big score in the final and win the game for India. But the way Pratika Rawal had batted, and then now Jemima, I mean, she was absolutely incredible, the way she batted. Smart batting, mature batting, knowing when to go for the big shot, otherwise knocking the ones, twos. And she was running for everything. She was running for everything, which just tells you her stamina as well. Amazing. Absolutely fantastic to watch. So,
just looking at Jemima's knock here, 2 things that really come to your mind. One is the fact that I remember she did not have a great start to this tournament. 2 ducks, if I'm not mistaken. She could not buy a run at one stage. Goes through with the first 3 games with hardly any runs there. Gets dropped. One, the fact that she's turned it around. So clearly someone had the belief that she can do it despite not having a great start to this tournament, whether it is the coach, whether it is her captain in Harmanpreet. Secondly, to push her to bat at number 3. And as she said, she did not know. She even took a shot, had no idea. And then 5 minutes before was told that you're going to bat at number 3 in such a crucial game. Clearly, there are other things that you look at, whether it's at practice, whether it was previous occasions. You've seen those things and you believe in that. And that's why you back her.
Yes, exactly. She's got some experience, you've got to say that. She's played in the leagues overseas as well. She's played in the women's Big Bash in Australia. She's played, I think, the 100 in England. So she's been around and she knows how to pace an innings, how to build an innings. Those, of course, were T20 formats, but this, of course, is a 50-over format. But she's got the experience. And we all know she's had the ability. Don't forget, when we're talking about her batting, do not forget what she did in the field. Please do not forget that. She took 2 outstanding catches and she had a run out at a crucial time. So while we are all, going gaga about her batting, do not, forget what she contributed in the field. Otherwise, we could have been chasing 350. Who knows? So, all in all, when you get the opportunity, you have to have the belief in yourself, and that's exactly what she showed. That she had the belief in herself, like she said, that she wasn't expecting to bat at number 3. She was told just 5 minutes before that she was going to bat at number 3, but she said, right, this is an opportunity, a challenge. A challenge is always an opportunity, and she grabbed it with both hands. And good luck to her. And all I can say is that India win the World Cup. She and I, if she's okay to do that, we will sing a song together. She with her guitar, and I will sing a song. We did that at one of the BCCI awards, I think a couple of years back or 3 years back
Yes.
at the BCCI awards. We did. I don't know if you were there, but we, there was a band who were playing there, and then we decided, look, let's go and do something. So we sang a song. She was on the guitar. She plays the guitar very well, and I was with my whatever voice. I did sing a song. But India win. I would, and if she's happy to do that with an old man, I'm all for it.
I'm sure she'll take up that offer. We'll ensure that this message does reach her, and it'll be obviously, I'm sure, even though I speak for her, a privilege for her to be jamming with you. But before that, India will have to win the World Cup, and I think that is
Exactly.
the more important bit. But I'm going back to that point, Saima, that you make, that 330 or 339 that Australia got could well have been 360. One, you talk about what Jemima did in the field. I take you back to that particular moment in the match. Australia sitting pretty, 220 for just 2 with 16 overs to go. It's looking like they'll reach 360 odd. And then they have a bit of a hiccup, courtesy our spinners in Sri Charni and Radha. Total of 4 wickets that fall in about 40-run period. You think that itself was also a game-turning moment, because 339 you're chasing versus 369 could have been a different ball game.
Oh yes, definitely yes. I think those wickets are coming in a cluster. That certainly set Australia back. No doubt about that, because Australia were going at a bullet speed, bullet train speed, and they were the brakes were put by the spinners. So clearly, yes, you have to say that happened. But again, over there, those catches by Jemima, as well as the run out, made a big difference.
Sahiba, how do you look at the scenario right now? Because we were talking about the final. Many were saying that if India win this game, it's pretty much the fact that you won the World Cup. But I'd like to remind our viewers, 2017, the exact same thing happened. You beat Australia in the semi-final in 2017. In the final, lost a very close game to England. This time you have the South African team. But with the confidence that this Indian team takes to the final, would they then go in as the favourites?
You could say that. But don't forget what South Africa also did. Like I said, that you had England, who beat them in the first match of this year's World Cup, having dismissed them for 69. And then when it was the semi-final yesterday, the South African captain herself scores 169 in a total of 319, and they win by 125 runs. That's a massive margin of a win. So which tells you that the South African women's team is a very, very good team. Clearly, I think this is going to be a nerve-wracking final for Indian cricket followers. But nothing can be taken for granted. What India need to do really is to get their last 5-6 overs right. If they can get their last 5-6 overs right, who are they going to give the ball to? That is the most important thing. We've been seeing that in the last 4-5 overs, even when defending scores in the earlier matches where we lost to South Africa and we lost to Australia. I think when we are defending scores, I think it's our bowlers, the final over bowlers that you have to sort out. If you can do that, stop throwing unnecessarily at the stumps. Because everybody does that, because that can only mean overthrows. We saw today that there were 10 runs conceded because of overthrows. 10 runs which could have made the difference between winning and losing. Luckily, it did not. But I think those are the little things that India need to get them right. And if they get the little things right, then then they will be all right in the final.
Okay, and finally, Saima, before we let you go, whatever happens in the final, is it fair to say this particular win in the manner in which the Indian team achieved that total, it is the coming of age of Indian women's cricket? Fair to say that?
Yes, yes. Because don't forget the pressure of expectations of the home crowd. Pressure of expectations of the home crowd. They had lost to the three big guns in the tournament. So clearly, I think then to come back the way that they have, it just tells you the makeup of this team. It tells you the makeup of this, the determination of this team to do well and to get to the final and go on to hopefully go on to win this. Clearly, yes, I think you could say that the Indian women's team has definitely come of age, and all the very best. God bless on the day of the final.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Mr. Gavaskar, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to your company on the day of the final and hopefully a day after the final as well, when you're going to be jamming with Jemima. We'll try and broadcast that live as well. But Mr. Gavaskar, thank you so much for your time once again. Sorry, Saima, what were you saying?
Jamming with Jemima. Jamming. Just instead of J-A, you have a J-E.
Okay, so you're jamming with Jemmy. I think that will be the name.
Jemmy.
Okay, that will be the name of your jamming session. Thank you so much once again for joining us live on this broadcast. We'll now take you live to Navi Mumbai. Joining us from there, my colleague Khushi Gupta. Khushi, I believe you are joined by a lot of fans who I'm sure are also very happy. Just as I can see a smile on your face, I'm sure they're also enjoying this moment.
Yes, everybody here is extremely happy, and as India was walking into this match as an underdog, but they won this match. Not every team can chase it down this comfortably, but we have some men. They've come from Goa, come this side. How excited are you? How happy are you that India has won the semi-final against Australia?
I'm a mayor from Vasco da Gama, Girish Bolkar, and all the corporators here with me. We especially came here to watch Jemima Rodrigues. And she had played a fantastic match by cricket in the World Cup. And the semi-final, it was a historical win. It was a lifetime watching her in a live and watching. हमने पहली बार आज तक से live, because we know that आज तक is the #1 channel in whole India, is a national channel. और आपसे
you are currently live on India Today. What do you have to say on Harmanpreet Kaur?
Wonderful innings,
well played inning. Captain
and very well led the team today. It was a great innings by herself, because under pressure, being wanting to score runs in the tournament and coming and just scoring such a wonderful knock at a runner ball, chasing such a huge score. Wonderful. We were so lucky to witness one of the
हरमनप्रीत का नंबर बैकग्राउंड 23 था और 23 the स्कोर पर उसका एक कैच मिस हो गया. That was a turning point and she scored a very nice score.
बहुत अच्छा लगा जब इंडिया जीतते तो और बच्चा. We especially came from Goa to watch this fantastic game.
Are you coming for the finals as well?
Yeah, 100%.
Coming up final. In spite of our Tulsi ka शादी, means बड़ी दिवाली, Tulsi का शादी है वो दिन, still will come to watch the match.
Can you explain a bit about this? There's this festival that you have.
There is a festival in Goa, Tulsi.
Okay.
Diwali, we say big Diwali on Sunday. And Tulsi ka shadi vivaah hota hai.
You will be coming here for the match. What are the hopes? Because it is against South Africa, and India has done really well in this.
Hope is clear that if India has won against Australia, then India is going to be in a final match with Australia.
India on high morale. I think India will be win this match with great margin.
Both the country have not won World Cup. This time India will win the cup.
Yes.
You tell me, how special is this home World Cup, ODI World Cup, that too happening at home?
To be frank, India and Pakistan, they played at Sri Lanka.
We were there.
Especially we had gone to see the match, India and Pakistan at Sri Lanka. We are very happy that we have. हमको मालूम था कि we were 100% India will become for the final, and this time 100% will be.
इसमें अच्छा लगा क्या है 334 is कभी भी नहीं सोचा था कभी भी anybody will chase that. And
Right.
chase that score.
You can see Nikhil.
Okay, we can really feel that excitement that's coming through from Navi Mumbai there. Our correspondent Khushi Gupta joined by plenty of fans there, as most of them were saying that they are going to be keeping a close eye. In fact, all of them are going to be returning to that same stadium to cheer on the women in blue come the final on Sunday.